Hi, this is Mia. This is, oh, sorry, it's super dark. Let me open this because it apparently doesn't like the dim. It is Saturday, May 14th, and I'm going to plan on putting this video online as a individual video. Now, I was saying to myself that, sorry, and I'm like super choking on my food right now, and I had to wash my hair. I don't have time to. I was saying to myself that I would need to go. Excuse me. Excuse me. I was telling myself, what is tomorrow? Okay, that I need to make a video. Telling myself, sorry, this is from a cutting. Telling myself what these people told me at this health clinic from Compassion that I just went to. Um, and I hold on. So I went and saw. They sent me to. They're like, "How's your day?" And they're like, I was like, "Oh, it's good," but I had this patient that got really sick, and I just found out last night, and I wanted to visit them, but I decided to come here and like, oh, you can talk to a psychologist. Like, okay. And this lady was talking to me, and I was like creeped out, and I was like, okay. And I said that there was stuff to deal with abuse. And sorry, I was choking on my olive oil and cheese. And she had just reminded me about financial abuse, and she reminded me about keep going and doing the right thing, even if it doesn't feel right, and that you've grown up that way. You have to, you know. And I told her about the book, McLeod, Boundaries, and all this. And from 2000, it might have been 2003, 2004 period that Jody had given me that book. And she just says, maybe get a lawyer to help you in the women's crisis, because it's common for abusers to deal with abuse through the finances. And they say, she's like, put a block on um, your accounts so that someone can't mess up your credit. And I got really, really paranoid about that, because I said that to the police and to them. To say 100 numbers, I said that was going on. It was another concern, and people kind of dismissed it because they're like, big deal. I'm like, is this even legal? Like, and then as a power control tactic, they're just like, get yourself separate from this, you know. So I'm gonna write this down because I don't like to watch the video. Child support from the different person. Oh, thank God. He's like, oh, really crazy, more crazy behavior. And they're like, no packages, no mail, accepted, no email, no phone. And it just seems outrageous. It seems extreme. But it was just like one of those things to keep you stuck. And they're like, I was like talking about looking outside the window, making sure the doors are locked, making sure the curtains are up. And they're like, you're giving this a whole lot of energy, but it's like, I don't know, I think anybody would be, you know. Um, And the first thing I was like, well, this happened, this happened. I was trying to jump ahead to 3 weeks ago, you know, from 1970s to 3 weeks ago. She's like, are you? Because I ask everybody if they're present, because sometimes people talk and they kind of numb themselves. And I was like, no, I was trying to talk fast and jump ahead. And I feel like such an idiot. And I told her, I was like, I felt like ignorant that I didn't know. Actually, I knew. It's like you know in your heart, but you don't feel that you have an opportunity to take control of your life as well as your finances. And I just remembered they said get another account. I need to keep this as a private video. I just realized he was very eager to get me to close 2 other accounts in this city. And he opened a brand new account. Oh my God. Because one of them was a teacher's credit union account. He didn't have an account. When my mom was alive, I was able to keep that account when my mom was, because my mom had been a teacher. He didn't have one. I had one. Grandma had one. Mom had one. He was very eager to drive me there. And it's like out here I can drive around and he'd be like, oh, in his city I couldn't drive anywhere. It's like I couldn't even walk. That's how much control there was. Just remembering that, but moving forward, it's almost like oh God, like a prayer. It's like God is helping you to say, what about this? Don't dwell on this stuff. Don't sit there and rehash it. Especially don't tell every single person I talk to. But it's almost like a little bit of bread to Hansel and Gretel to keep your trail, but it's more of a stay away from that trail. Like it's almost like look back behind you. Do you see all those things that happened? Don't go back to that. Don't go back to that. You want a clean slate. You want to live, and um, I just feel like I feel like I'm just like thinking. I feel I feel like this list. I'm making this video, and I was thinking like I had to go downstairs. I was thinking, oh, remember that Total Recall where he makes a video and he's like, if you're watching this, and I'm giving all credit to the Total Recall one. I don't know about the newest one, but the old one. Hi. Maybe you're wondering why you're watching this, something like that. It's like it's like, hey, it's me, or something. I don't remember. And he had been lobotomized because I guess because he knew Quato or something. I don't know. It's about Mars. So I had said, okay, I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna save it for myself. And I'm gonna post it, and I'm gonna be able to find it, no matter what, whether the computer crashes, this piece of paper burns up, you know. If I had to flee my house right now, or if I sit here and I go through my inventory in 5 years and say, oh wow, look at this. Let's go back and see, you know what. Let's go back and see what is going on, you know, and I just gotta think. I feel nervous posting this because I don't want it to be unopened, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it up there while it's short. I will tell you this though. I wrote this down as well, and some of it is telling me don't pause, act now, protect yourself. Some of it's like it's not that bad, or people have said, hey, when God tells you this, remember you don't have to listen to other people that are telling you the wrong thing or the opposite. They didn't say the opposite, but they said don't listen to those other people. Make sure to listen to God. And I have to remember that. And they said to make some Bible verses positive love of God. I don't remember which ones. Like, I don't know how much God is. What's the one about God knowing you? So I will tell you this as well, and I'm going to keep it very anonymous. There's someone that is in the hospital, and the parent is in the hospital. We're doing this foreshadowing, and it reminded me of the importance of taking care of my health. It reminded me the importance of taking time out, and it's really hard. 103 non-fasting glucose. Non-fasting. And it reminded me to take care of my health all week, the last of the week. Whoa, that was really dark, really fast. All of the last, oh, crazy again. All of the last of the week, all the last of the week, like the end, like Thursday, Friday, I was thinking in my mind like that I needed to take care of my health, and I was putting everyone else's health first. And the ironic thing was, I had a whole week of a very just okay, I had to work my schedule on my daughter's ride schedule. And the one day I'm going to the doctor, or I have to do this, or I have to make a really important phone call to follow my doctor's orders to make appointments for imaging. It just like it like mixes with this and like overlaps. I mean, like conflicts. And it's like I would in the past be like, oh well, don't do it. And in this week I said, no, you got to do it. I mean, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much and so many phone calls and so many places I have to go, and I have to set it in my schedule. If it's a walk-in place, I could have gone on Friday, but I chickened out. I was like, I'm gonna get on that freeway on a Friday afternoon. I'm gonna sit there for 45 minutes. I'm gonna get back on that freeway at 5 o'clock and gridlock. Like, there's no guarantee that it was gridlock, but it was 90 degrees yesterday, so I'm not sure. And I had to get my kid. I ended up making a bunch of phone calls. And part of me feels like I should have just gone and got it done, but I mean, it's too late. By the time I finished up with talking to my doctor and stuff, it ended up being well past the time. I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm going to go ahead and pray and meditate about what I said. And the reason that I shared this way is so that I can tell you what happened today from what people told me. And they said, well, if you don't want Tylenol, if you don't want Tylenol, then God, what a nightmare. There's something just came to mind that showed me that it was a worse nightmare than I thought. Sick. No. Oh my god. Anyways, it's like, it's a nightmare. It's like a nightmare. This is like, and what sucks, someone's car got totaled, and someone rebuilt it, cleaned it up, fixed it up. From the outside, it looks good. It drives from A to B, but it's never going to be the same again, and it may not last as long as it's supposed to. You're like wondering why all this stuff and why the alignment's off, and why it's rusting out, and why the paint's starting to peel. All this stuff, and it's like something happened. Bumpers falling off, the nuts came loose, and the original ones had already been removed. Someone else put it back on. Cheap parts, and it's like it looks good, fixed up, got a lot of work, but its original frame has been messed up, and the title would say a total wreck, total loss, salvage. You're salvage. I feel like salvage, and I know I'm not a car. I know I'm a new creature in Christ. I'm gonna write that down. At least I don't remember what verse that is. It's New Testament, probably. So silly. Moira from the church used to remind me of that. Because I told them about my past and about my experience with my ex-husband. They didn't believe it about my family. They were just like, this person's nice. You have to not talk like that. This didn't happen. But this guy that's white and has dreadlocks and is tall and muscular, who produced beautiful kids with me, then that's like, no, don't talk to that guy, but talk to this guy that hurts you. Even worse than this guy. But I think that a lot of people, old school, they do not tolerate mixed race. They do not tolerate that type of relationship. It appalls them, no matter whether they're Christians or not. Some people, it doesn't matter who they are. Some people don't think twice. Some people are just like, and I could see that from the old church, and they would just criticize me about, oh, I married this guy. They didn't know this guy. They didn't know. They never met that guy. They didn't know anything about it. And half these guys in the church could have been doing much worse than this guy. And I mean, I hung out at people's house. They would not do that stuff in front of the pastor. Some of the stuff they did in front of the pastor didn't even notice. And you're like, really? It's like, all right, like you're really blinded by the demographic. And they walk the walk, talk to talk on Sunday, but like you live next to their house. They live next to their house, and like, really? Like, as soon as I pulled up, it was obvious. There's some cray going on, and it's none of my business. I'm not judging. Pastors aren't judging. Kids aren't judging. They are only to God. I asked God to guide me to meet this lady. She didn't like me because I was like, oh, if you guys are going to be doing this behavior, you ought to go to the courthouse and get married, and don't tell anybody if you're going to wait until have a big wedding. Have a big wedding later, but if you're going to behave like that. And I was like, I'm not judging you. Don't worry. I'm not going to say anything. I said, but the Bible says tell our brothers, to help keep them from falling. And it's like, it's none of my business, personally. And she's like, I started, it's my fault. She started crying. I was like, I ain't saying nothing. I don't think any different of you. I was like, most of us did the same thing, but it's like, you might as well think about what we're doing and try to like remedy it in a new light, a new creature in Christ. And Moira used to tell me, new creature in Christ, don't let those people. What they did was, they would keep, oh, I gotta shred this. They would keep, my past, even if it was 10, 20 years ago, and they would say, that's your title, that's who you are. And that's how the pastors were. And this lady was like, don't let them hold you there. You're a new creature in Christ. Don't let them hold you there. Don't let them hold you there. I'm arrested. 99.9% of the church is not going to tell them their past from 25 years ago, 28 years ago, 15 years ago, 3 years ago, currently, yesterday. What were they doing last night? No, la 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 la. Too much for my clean ears, my dirty ears. Yeah, too much for my dirty ears. People decided to clog my ears. I was like, dude, you have no clue what I've gone through. Because if I told you, you wouldn't believe it. And She used to say, don't let them talk. She goes, they talk about you to other people, about you. They talk about your kids. They talk about you badly. And she goes, I hung out with you and your kids, and none of it's true. It's all lies. These pastors, I didn't know this at first, but I said, oh, this place, I like the church, this and that. And the counselor, she's like, I'm not about to tell you anything about your religion, but you need to find another institution. And that was really hard to do. That was really hard to deal with. It was like, how dare this Christian, non-Christian, or whatever, tell me not to go to church. I was like, no, I'll prove them wrong. And I kept saying, we moved so many times. I got my kids in the school. We're gonna keep them in school. We're gonna keep them in church, and then we'll ask God to guide us. And the school fell apart, and the church fell apart. And it's not, you can't always cling on. And the thing was, I listened to my mom saying, I hate it being the new kid. I hate it going here, there. But it's like, sometimes you got to be a new kid. Sometimes you got to get out of something sticky. And I have to pray about that. But I kept it together. There's two things. There was a church and that. And the church, it got worse and worse. As I got more and more educated, it got worse and worse. As I got more educated, it got worse and worse. And it got to be more like just I don't know how to say it. It got evil, it got demonic.